Yo. So we're in an extraordinary time, something that I don't think I would have ever predicted 5 years ago. But the October 7th attack on Israel, shocking as it was, and the most devastating attack that Israel's ever seen, from the Palestinians at least, it set off a series of events that I guess were under the surface in Israel, but that have all exploded, and there's a centrifugal forces in Israel now that are tearing the country apart in a very real way. Israel's becoming very far right. They're become so far right that they can no longer hide their the immense violence and just lack of mercy and ferociousness that they conduct themselves with in dealing with the Palestinians, Hezbollah in the north and in Lebanon, and the extreme heavy-handedness with which they treat Iran. And there's no reason for the United States to be enemies with Iran. We have no quarrel with them. It's just that American Jews, and even Christian Zionists perhaps, don't want us to have a good relationship with Iran because Iran supports the Palestinians as a matter of principle. And so we've been at loggerheads with Iran for 30-something years, mainly just because that's what the Israelis want, because Iran supports the Palestinians and their right and their cause. So much of what America is doing in the Middle East is contrary to its own geostrategic and political goals, all in support of this very small country that is an albatross around our neck. There's no value for our United States in its support of Israel. Nothing. They have done nothing for us. Now, here's what's amazing is how the general public, who are always behind and lazy, have discovered so much about the modern circumstance of Israel now that they have blown Gaza to hell. I remember I made a video on this channel 10 years ago talking about the JFK assassination and Israel's role in that. If you sit down and think about how did Israel get nuclear weapons, their economy was simply too small. I don't care how smart they are, they could not have made those weapons on their own. And the answer is they stole the uranium from the United States. JFK tried to get it back, and he became very much against Israel in the process. And he was also opposed to the American Zionist Council, which after his death became IPAC, which is American Israel Political Action Committee, and has immense influence in Washington. So it's amazing. 10 years ago I made this video, and everyone would have said I was insane. I'm an anti-Semite. I'm a lunatic. I've seen very mainstream YouTubers, podcasters, and so on talking about this in the broad daylight now. That's a shock. Absolutely shocking turn of events. It's amazing how fast things can change. All because of Israel doesn't care about their own PR anymore. They don't care that we see. I've seen drone videos of Gaza where every single building was obliterated in all directions to the horizon. Nothing is left. It looks like the future war in Terminator, where the robots and the humans are fighting each other at night. That's what Gaza looks like, is the future war. And there's just a complete lack of mercy. They're starving these people to death. No gas, no electric, nothing. And then American Jews have the gall to come here and talk down to white people and how we don't have social justice and all this other bullshit Meanwhile, they treat their own neighbors in Israel like mosquitoes, like nothing. And the Jews' old tactics aren't working anymore with the anti-Semite this and the racist that. Like they've lost their power. They've lost the aura of invincibility. And I see their fall incoming. And I don't think they're going to. What they're doing now is before they had enough power and PR that they could silence the random person who stood up and talked, and they could destroy their career. But there's just too much awakening now. They can't maintain the edifice of invincibility any longer. And the farce. And what they're going to do is try to keep their power in the United States through force, through silencing people, through arresting people, and politicians will start to speak out, and they're just coming out in the open. Their power and their control is just becoming very visible now, whereas it wasn't a matter of, 1 or 2 years ago when the attack happened, a year and a half, I guess. The turn is extraordinary. Nothing is truly astonishing. And people can see it, like their influence in Hollywood, where they've shoved down these Holocaust movies down our throat for 50 years. And now it doesn't work anymore, and people see the hypocrisy of it all. Let me be clear. I believe Israel killed JFK and RFK. And I believe Israel's nuclear weapons were stolen from the United States by Jewish American collaborators and traitors who assisted Mossad in illegally diverting uranium from a nuclear processing facility in Apollo, Pennsylvania. It's called the Apollo Affair. And what they would do is they'd shave off a little uranium here and there when they're processing it, for whatever reason. I guess for the nuclear weapons industry. And it took years to figure it out. Like, it wasn't an overnight thing. It's a little bit here, a kilogram this year, add it up, shave off, 10 grams here. And then it takes a while for it to add up and you to figure it out. So they started doing this under Eisenhower, and it didn't come to light until under Kennedy. So that's kind of the whole kit and caboodle on that. And what else? Okay, so what's so interesting now is Netanyahu. And he's got 3 simultaneous charges on him for corruption. This is like case 1000, case 3000 or something. I don't remember the name. But he was trying to get favorable press coverage in exchange for better policies for a specific billionaire in Israel. And they've got it on tape even, I think. I mean, they've got him dead to it. And the only way he can prevent this trial from going forward is to keep the war going so that he can say that, hey, we've got to delay the trial. I'm in wartime. And, also the hostages that are left, they're a pawn to him, right? So if he ends the war and gives the Palestinians a truce, which is what they want, in exchange for the hostage, he can't do that because the ultra-far right, the Ben Gvir types, will collapse the government. So he's in a hard place here, and I think he's just doing it for his own career. I would have maybe 6 months ago thought maybe I could think he's doing it for what he thinks is good for Israel, but I don't even believe that anymore. I think it's 100% Netanyahu for him, which is to the detriment of Israel, right? And America's unconditional support for Israel is bad for Israel because it doesn't force them to finally come to terms with the Palestinians, and give them an equitable and fair deal. So this problem persists, and the end result may be the end of Israel itself. So it's an interesting time to live in, for sure.